Pretty pretty comfortable with overall the UML part of it. Let me share that Babuji screen. Babuji just shared his UML diagram. Yeah, I can share the WhatsApp. It's about you, right? If I go here, where is that? Let me share the WhatsApp thing only. Could you see? It's a bit blurred though, but use case diagram. Babuji, could you please explain what you have created, sir?
Yeah, sure, no problem. I think you need to enlarge a little bit so that others people can able to see a little bit. Or if you want to,
I can't enlarge it
okay.
further. Okay, let
Okay.
me and then try to do it. Let me give me a minute.
I'm sorry, but if you want, I can scan and send it again to you if you want.
No. There's no need to send it again.
Okay.
The thing is that let me let me open it and then we can. Where's that? Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you see now? Yes.
But I have with me, so you want to check with other people whether they are comfortable with seeing that.
Yeah. Could you able to read from the diagram?
Yes,
Anybody?
sir. Hello.
Hello. Yes, you could be able to read, right, from the diagram.
I can, but my point is whether other people can able to see it clearly, or I can read it if you want.
Vandana, ma'am.
Yeah, it's a little blurred, but you can make out. It's not too bad.
Okay, thank you, Akhil. Okay,
Yeah.
this is because I didn't put the flow chart. I created the use case diagram. This is for employee attendance. So outside the box, I put the primary as an employee, secondary as a manager, and on the right hand side there is a server, and the other one is called admin. So what I mentioned here on the top is enter ID and password, then view profile. The next one is scan QR code, then record attendance. The employee will enter ID and password, then he will view his profile, then scan his QR code. Then once everything is okay, they record their attendance.
Give me a minute, sir. Normally, employee attendance starts whenever he enters the gate, sir. Is that right? Even in our good old days, we used to have ledger register at the gate, right? Means at
Correct.
the door of the office. So employee ID and password for manager, it's okay because he's going to check certain, leave balance or salaries or whatnot. But for employee, even manager as an employee, if he enters through the door, he need to mark his attendance there, right, sir?
Okay.
So at the door, enter ID and password doesn't sound really feasible, sir.
Okay, got it. Sorry, this is my first try after the class, so correct me if
yeah, we are just discussing, right? And we need to look it at as an event flow. That's why flow chart and then use case diagram, because once you are clear with the events in your mind, how these are happening, right? That's the flow chart of activity diagram basically gets us clear.
Okay.
And then we attach who is doing that and what he is actually doing and who is supporting that flow.
Okay.
Okay. Have you seen? Let me bring out the older use case diagram of madam or something. Let me get that thing. I have not got that thing saved. So let me check out if it's still there in the group. We can discuss that as well.
Okay.
Let's try to have this one. Okay. Now I have shared some use case diagrams with you, right? Employee attendance and all. Okay. Let me share that screen with you. Yes. Could you see here?
Yes, sir.
Here, this is an attendance management system when it's developed. And here basically register in the sense they want to register at the gate so that they have entered the office. Then you can go on your desk and do login, log out, generate reports and all those things as well, right? But before that, you need to mark your attendance, and this is how the flow starts. Rather, this is also a bit confusing. Let me, oh, come on. Why this happens? Okay, give me a minute. Yeah, so yes, you couldn't see, right? Let me share that again. Okay. Yes, this is done by Shiva madam, right, madam?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes. So, you know, the way she explains, like employee arrives at the gate, the biometric scan, finger scan, iris scan, whatever, and then register the, match. Means the computer will check for who is coming. Is it Ravindra? Is it Babu? Or, you know, is it Shabaya? Whoever enters, the database records those things. So this looks like a complete flow, right? And if you look at the, the previous diagram she shared, let me bring that up. This is the flow chart diagram. So it starts, employee is at the gate, biometrics, then match the register. So this gives you a complete event flow. Could you understand, Babuji? Means what I'm
yeah, I understand clearly. Yes, thank you.
And I believe you couldn't see because I think you got added afterwards. Let me share these diagrams with you so you can have a look at that also. Okay. And then next time we can discuss it. And don't take it right or wrong, sir. We are all learning. Even I learned quite a good number of things from you. Okay. So that's how we work out. So this way, what we learn in a group, and that's why we do this group learning, right? We should know each other. We try to basically learn from each other. We try to, use the best traits the others also have. Okay. Are you with me, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So let me stop this thing, and don't feel like some kind of shortcomings or something. We are still learning, and we are still trying to get better day by day. Okay. Now,
Agree.
have you used Excel, sir, Babuji?
Yeah. Yes.
Now
Excel.
this
Yes.
is easy, and this is the most frequent tools we use as an as a business analyst. So let's rephrase. How does business analyst work in a typical day? Okay, so he basically collects the requirement. He goes to the client. He arranges some meetings. Might be Google Meet, uh, or Zoom Meet, whatever it may be. He arranged these meetings. He tried to collect requirements. He formulate a minutes of meeting where all these discussions are captured with the action point and everything, right? In couple of slides, we'll also discuss the minutes of meeting template, how we capture minutes of meeting. Then he goes to his chair, his office, and he start creating overall the system requirement specification for a particular project. Okay, for the attendance management system, he starts about what's the client, why he needs the attendance management system, what are the things we discussed in the minutes of meeting. So the list of requirements, then he start building a list of functionalities or features. So whatever solution you are giving, it can be a project, product, or services. We normally list down the features. We normally list down the functionality the product will support in future. And here I might add some diagrams, I might add some artifacts, I might add some a conceptual solution flow, right? And for these we use different tools. One of them was UML. UML is UML in the sense use case diagram, specifically used for depicting the who are the actors, who are the users of the system, and how they're going to interact with the system one by one. Okay, there's a sequence attached to it, and there is what are the system is going to support as a functionality. So what all they're included as a use case normally gets executed whenever an actor comes to the system through login, website, mobile, whatnot, and he start using the system. He is using the system for the functionality and features, right? Similar way, we list down these functionalities and features in those use cases, those oval box. So whenever Ravindra comes at the gate of a company, he's a registered employee, and you know what he does? He put his fingers on the biometric. He put his eye either way, or iris scan on the eye on the iris scanner. So the computer on the iris scanner or a biometric knows, okay, this is Ravindra Pandey. So it normally displays in a smart LCD there, Ravindra Pandey, date, time, attendance marked. So you get an acknowledgement. Okay, your attendance is marked at so and so time, so and so day, and all those things. So you can enter the office and start working whatever you're working on, and so on and so forth, right? So this is how the normal attendance procedure works. For that, I might have use case diagram. I might have activity diagram. I might have something called Excel chart as well. Excel chart is for what are the number of employees they are working in which different offices. Do they prefer the east gate, west gate, north gate, and whatnot? Means what type of normal preferred setting for them as far as the solution usage. And for all these depiction, I normally collect the data in the Excel sheet. And then on basis on Excel sheet, we can decide some performance parameter. We can decide some really feasible thing, or really thing which will support the usage of this solution at a much better scale. So everybody should or could use this system, right? Or for certain scenario, like the cost discussions, like why we choose for these companies biometric, why not that company's biometric, or why we choose to procure these items at such and such date. There are some discounts during Christmas, festivities and all. So we normally choose procurement at that time. So how much have we saved? Is the early procurement feasible? Is it a perishable item or not? And so on and so forth. So we all include these details in an Excel sheet, and normally we'll attach this Excel sheet as an SRS to the template. So the SRS document is a concise to the understanding of business requirement, understanding of the list of discussions we had. Then we had a list of requirements, products, features, and that way we have all these other artifacts attached to the SRS, including MOM, the Excels where we collected the data while analysis. So let's try to use this most common tool used by analysts on day-to-day life, right? As we discussed last time, it's available. So, and many of us have used it before. So there's no extra training required as such. So what we do, we just start using it a bit as per our needs on the analysis day-to-day, right? So here, we are basically, as there's no extra cost, right? So it's a cost-effective thing. It's a better to do for ad hoc analysis. I can increment Excel file whenever I feel to, right? It's like, it also has some data visualization, like we can have a bar chart, we can have a pivot tables, we can have a really great colored tables for better readability and all those things. And of course, Excel use worldwide, means everybody uses Excels. India, Japan, China, everywhere we use Microsoft Office, we use Excel. And if they don't use Microsoft Office, there are other offices existing in world, like LibreOffice, Open Office, and this and that office. So we have a kind of spreadsheet or Excel we use normally in BA day-to-day work life. And then also we have interportability with other systems. You can copy the table from Excel and paste it into your SRS, or paste it into your any email as well for that matter. So this interportability helps us out. And there are less retaining costs because Excel license are normally, if you know, nowadays quite a few laptop, they come free with operating system as well as MS Office normally. So that way Excel is really easy in terms of use, or easy to basically so there's no ad hoc cost attached to it. So retaining cost is quite at a lower level in those scenarios, right? And so on and so forth. So then we can what we do normally with Excel, we do data analysis, a part of business analysis, and it can be different forms, like we use pivot table, examining the trends. So we do a trend analysis, a sort and filter data with a table, creating a chart or a graphs to present it. Okay, after we compile this SRS as a BA, our work doesn't stop there. Then what we do, we present this SRS to a project manager and a project team within Infosys, within our organization, where they will start developing it, they will start constructing it. Now, how do we present these things? We normally build a presentation with SRS references, with all these Excel sheet tables, chart, graphs, so that whatever we are explaining, we can explain it with just one picture in mind, one graph, one pie chart, so that whatever we are explaining is easily explained and the others also understand. And that's why we uses these graphs, pie charts, the filter data or trend analysis as a graph, and so on and so forth. It's always not required as such, but it's better to be prepared on these tools. So that's why I don't I believe you might have worked on graphs and pie charts and everything, but as far as typical Excel goes, right, we will revise these things so that we could use it effectively whenever there's a need. Okay, of course I'm there to support you whenever such things comes on job, but right now let's have a quick understanding of how do we do the data analysis on these things, right? And Excel provides built-in various mathematical and financial function as well to present it much better to the business for that matters, right? Now let's try to understand how do we use Excel or a worksheet. Business analytics with Excel training has been designed to help initiate the world of analytics. For this, we use most commonly used analytics tool Excel or LibreOffice. Okay, if you want to use LibreOffice, I'll share that link with you, but it's a bit crude than Excel. I believe everybody has Excel with them, right? Anyone who don't have Excel?
I don't have it. You were telling there's a link which is kind of free.
Yeah, the LibreOffice. I'll share that link with you. You can download. Oh, you're using Mac, right?
No, it's a laptop.
It's a no. But is it like a normal Windows laptop?
Yeah, it is Windows.
Oh, then you can get Excel online as well. Means there's a 3 months trial normally. When you go to Microsoft.com downloads, you'll get Excel, Microsoft Excel free of cost for 3 months. Or well, this thing, sometimes they give you 15 days, sometimes they give you 30 days, sometimes they give you 3 months.
No, I don't think it is there now.
No, it's called trial version, madam. If you go to Microsoft.com, because it's developed by Microsoft. Okay. Wherever you go, they'll give you Excel basically, because normally your office has Microsoft Excel. Otherwise, I'll give you the LibreOffice links as well. So it's a free of cost. You can download that as well. Okay. All those formulas and tools works fine with LibreOffice as well. Don't worry on that part. Okay. Just try. If you can't, I'll share the link and everything with you. Don't worry on that part. The training will equip you with all the concept and hard skills that are required to kickstart your analysis as an analytics career. And if you already have some experience in it, it'll be really easier for you. You can just quickly get a bit of practice and you're up and running within no time. Let me play your video of 24 Excel tricks and tips. Here we will understand how the table, we can beautify the table, how we can arrange and how can we play in the trend analysis and all those things. So let me play this video for you. Should be 20, right? Yes, give me a minute. Let me share this thing with you. And let me pause this thing. And we will understand how to create a typical pie chart, bar chart, and why we call that similarly. Now, if you could start thinking of how to analyze your expenses. Okay, let's try to do that, and we'll try to analyze the trend in a step-by-step way. And this is personal to you. See, I don't want to know where do you spend your money, dollar or something like that, but you can throw some sample values create this report and we can discuss it in our next session. This is kind of analyzing an idea, right? So we are going at a raw level. We are using a mature tool like Excel to understand how I can plan my expenses proactively. So if you study last 2 months data in terms of my spending, I can really assume what will be my next month will look like, right? So if you really study your data of say January and February, you can plan your expense in March much better way. You can even guide your better up husband, wife, or daughter, son, so that they'll really get surprised how we can do these analysis. And this is the best part of the analyst. We are analyst at a given point. We are learning better tools day by day, and that's how we are going to use these tools at our own disposal to make our life more better. Does that sound good? Anyone excited?
Super excited, but this is like a whole bunch of things
Yeah,
I
it looks like
never
magic.
knew existed.
Right, right. No problem. So I'll share this link, after our session. Go through it one more time. Try to play around, as I discussed, try to play around with expense report or your gas consumption or something like that, so that you will be more, well, gas consumption in Corona time, we are not going that much out. So gas consumption will be really skewed, right? But the expenses are still there. Means we go for groceries, we go for dairy products purchase, we go to Walmart, we go to everywhere, frankly speaking, as far as the need of daily lives are concerned, right? And if you analyze that thing, you can control your expenses in a much better way. That's why Excel as a tool we can use, and we can basically be a better analyst with starting analysis at home. That's why I normally give this example in every of my class. Okay, let's take a step further. Now let's try to understand chart and how to we build chart in our Excel. Now what are the charts? Charts are basically a pictorial representation of a big data. Now when he shown us list in that Excel which was around 8,000 lines, right? And when you build a chart, it's just one single image. So whenever you display this image, you are really explaining the complete 8,000 lines, because we have compiled the symbolic representation of a big data into a small picture. And that's why these charts are really helpful in analytical world. You can understand how much is the total youngster population in your region. How can you do that? Well, you need to have the census figure, which will go into millions of lines. You try to understand to build a chart with the age group 1 to 10, 10 to 20, and so on and so forth. And you'll have the exact number of persons who you call youngsters, and you'll have the numbers after, depending upon the complete list of million records. And that's why we use chart to represent the data in a concise single pictorial format, and just to have a related weightage to them. Okay, first think about what kind of information you have. What are your inputs and outputs? There are three kind of inputs normally. Like if you measure a temperature of water in every 5 minutes, the temperature of water changes according to the room temperature or the environmental temperature and all those things. This is numerical. It's like you measure the height of a catapult projectile at a different distance away from the catapult. So this is a kind of analysis or observation we are doing for certain examples. So these are just example mentioned here. And there are categories. If you like to measure the pH of a different kinds of liquid, pH is the strength of acid alkalinity in a given liquid and all those things. Now, how do we capture this? And after capturing this, how do you present it, right? So let me show you a figure, again a video where we'll understand how to build best charts in Excel. Okay, so here they have explained almost 10 charts how we can do it, as far as the analysis go. Okay, and these are the 10 charts. Okay, I think it's not came on the screen yet. Could you see on the screen? Now we have been listening to this, minutes of meeting, minutes of meeting, minutes of meeting. Let's try to understand what is minutes of meeting, and then we'll wind up today. In the next, session, we'll try to build a minutes of meeting. We'll try to understand what goes into the minutes of meeting, and then we'll move on to something like high-level diagrams, and then we'll understand what is SRS actually composed of. So slowly, steadily, we are getting into the shoes of business analyst actual day-to-day life. You have understood use case diagram, you have understood Excel at a larger level, right? And I'll repeat, the homework is try to build a expense sheet in terms of various different entities and different number of dollar amounts you spend on. Try to do it for at least 6-7 weeks. Try to build pie chart, whichever graph or chart you whichever chart you like. Try to use that chart and present it in a next session. Okay, try to use pivot table to categorize those expenses so that you can really sort them out. You can really understand in terms of graphs where I'm spending the most and so on and so forth. So you can understand your expenses in that way. Okay, let's understand minutes of meeting. It's normally called as MOM. So if somebody says, please refer to MOM dated so and so. So that's a file available on your cloud space. You need to refer to that. So minutes of meeting are basically official summary of what happened during a meeting. We of course have an audio recording most of the time, but sometimes if the client is really skeptical, he normally don't might not like to record also. There are some clients, but there are far and few. Normally the business analytics meetings are audio recorded, and nowadays in Zoom or Google Meet, we normally record it on a server itself, so we can refer it if there's anything gap or any misunderstanding or something like that. They serve as an outline, a written record artifact for anyone unable to attend or use for future reference. Minutes document what have happened and what decisions are made, and then what are action points assigned to someone. When written well and when using a good meeting minutes template, minutes are critical communication tool for an organization. It's really important, and we have been basically developing minutes of meeting for almost 60-70 years now. There are some necessary information which will normally include in minutes of meeting. Few of them are the title of group, that is the meeting or the meeting itself, basically the project name. Then the date, time, as well as the venue, meeting room, if appropriate. If you are doing it online, will mention Zoom Meet, Google Meet, whatnot. Who are the attendees and who are recording the minutes of meeting, name, designation, everything. The meeting's agenda. What were the agenda? What were the plan? Whatever we planned the meeting for, and what were the discussions point to be put on the table during that. This was done prior to the meeting, and this is also normally done by the business analyst. What decisions are made and by whom? What are actions allocated to whom? Monitors and vote counts. If there are any votings and any motions are passed, like if you go in a cooperative meeting or any financial meeting, there are some motions and all as well. Okay, let me play a video, and this is really good video to understand how to build a minutes of meeting, and then we'll have a look at the template overall. Okay, let me play this video for you.
What?
Let's play this thing, and let me understanding this minutes of meeting concept. As far as business analyst goes, this is one of the most crucial thing we create, right? This is of course reviewed and approved by everybody else. So there are big good disciplines attached to the minutes of meeting in every organizations we normally look for. Even client have their own way of using some template, adding some certain things within minutes of meeting. Okay, in quite a few number of meetings, they also share the audio file as well, so that if you want to validate something, you can validate, you can remove all type of misunderstanding from the meeting itself. Any questions for me so far? Have we understand minutes of meeting? It's a simple tool but it's one of the most crucial for business analysts. Any question for me so far?
No, thank you.
Let's take a minute. Let's take a minute for sample MOM for business analysts. Now the lady have explained how a professional normally collects minutes of meetings, right? For a business analyst, we normally have a project name and a company name, project name, solution name, product name, whatever you're operating on. The company name as in your company name as well as the client company name. In our standard example, we'll have enhancing attachment management system for State Farm by Infosys, something like that. So, title of meeting, third meeting with HR executives at State Farm. Sounds descriptive enough. We normally have title like this. Then description of meeting. After 2 previous meetings with so and so dates. Now this is a third meeting. We are trying to understand the wish list, the overall thought process of building a conceptual solution to give a concrete picture of the solution is being formulated for State Farm, or so on and so forth. You can have a description in normally 4-5 lines. Then the actual MOM starts. MOM first author name, that's me, analyst, whoever writing it. Then the designation, role, what we need to include as per our company policies and procedures. Then we have meetings attendees, the name and the designation normally. Then the agenda, which we have shared proactively. You can just cut, copy, paste the agenda. Then point discussed. These are also normally based on agenda. The action items and this is normally a single table after agenda where we normally have serial number, a point discussed, action item allocated, action items to be done by, designation, role, targets, date, going to review or any follow-up meetings we are trying to have. And then we have the MOM shared by, uploaded by, archived by, reviewed by, and approved by, and those kind of scenario. If your organizations where you work for requires these things, then they'll get added. And then next meeting planning. When are we going to plan next meeting? If it's not planned, we can leave that blank as well. So this is a normally MOM we normally discuss and build as a business analyst, day by day. Okay, it's almost 10:30. Okay, let's stop here. In the next session, we'll review this MOM, try to create a chart or pivot tables as per as we discuss. Okay, so that's a homework. In the next session, we're going to understand how the MOM actually gets shaped up. We might try a hands-on in terms of how the MOM is being calculated. Okay, so I'll share a scenario with you, and then we'll try to write down MOM. I'll share the MOM template also after this session, so you can go through it. There are I'll share a couple of templates basically, so you can understand. Normally, these templates are shared by the organization which we work for because it's a standardization process within an organization. I hope you can understand me over here. If you worked ever in American corporate culture, then you'll understand this quite clearly. Every organization have their brand, have their processes stamped and highly disciplined. So we normally use the template from the organizational quality process, quality management principle. Normally the what do you call that thing? I forgot. They have a shared storage of all the templates, all the discipline, audit findings, and everything at a centralized cloud location nowadays. So we normally use a template from there. Okay. Anybody have any question for me as of now?
So Ravinder, the assignment that you have given for the Excel, the expenses, so we have to actually put our expenses just like the raw data that was given in the first example? That on this day we spent this much, this day, that's how we have to do?
Simple. And put a dollar figure that will understand how the spending have been trending. Right? Like in month of March, I spend this much on gas, that much on this, and that much on that. I don't want the numbers, but we'll try to understand how we can analyze the data. So analysis as a process, analysis of a typical data is a process has to be understood by this. And if you use your data, it's much more better because you know the data in and out. But the inferences we pull out of that data has to be real rather than as a human, we do some errors, right? Whenever we look at big data, So instead of that, I'll have this Excel as a tool helping me to analyze the data automatically. That's what we are trying to learn. Is that answer to a question, ma'am?
Yeah, but then for us, it'll be just like 4 or 5 things. Grocery we do from two places, and then just a gas and nothing else. So I won't have too much of data. Okay,
No,
then bills. Yeah, bills, we can do bills, right?
yeah, you can do bills and add at least 6-7 weeks or go to 2 months. If say we hardly need 10-15 rows, we are not going to use 8,000 or something. Even if you go to around 20-24 lines, that's okay, but at least
I
8 or
know,
9.
but then when I say the electricity bill, it just, I think it comes twice or once in 2 months. So it'll be a single row in that case, right?
Yeah, that's okay. For electric, we have one. For gas, we have a couple of rows. For grocery, we have couple of rows, or
Yeah.
the most something like that sort.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Or if you have any other idea, means no problem. See, we are trying to learn how to analyze data and how our decisions based on those history figures and how to extrapolate those data, how to understand the trend as a human, and then by as a tool, as an Excel helping us to basically analyze the trend up to the last decimal point. So
Mhm.
it basically helps us out to basically analyze mathematically. That's the whole point of these things. And we have started basically leaning on the tool for our decisions. And that's kind of automating the overall thought process of how the expenses are being trended, or how they are moving more towards gas, less to, well, of course, due to COVID, we have lesser gas expense overall, but then there are certain expenses increase, like the electricity, right? Or the
Yeah.
gas, use gas
Yeah.
for the heat and all those things. So those gas,
Yeah.
because we are just coming out of cold. So those kind of scenario. So we'll just
So
try
I'll
to
just make the categories like gas, and then say this grocery, Indian grocery, say from Walmart grocery, and then take out, right?
yeah, of course, good. Whatever you are spending, whatever we want to
I
understand,
know, no, I get it.
overall means how's the share, means if I earn like $2,000 a month, then how this $2,000 are spent. I'm not actually quoting the numbers, I don't want to know the numbers, but at least you should be able to compare it, like where I'm spending more or where are less. And this is for everybody, not just for you, ma'am, so that you'll understand how I'm doing in a life. What are my monthly expenses, what are my yearly expenses, how much do I need, right? Because most of the time I have what I need, but I still am unsatisfactory. And this thing is a realistic example, believe me. Once you know how much I can shut down the wastage, you can really live happily in whatever you have. Believe me, God have given enough, more than enough, rather, I'll say. Okay, and in the management, that's what we're going to learn in the next capsule. Anybody have any question for me at this moment? Okay, I'll say no. So let's stop here and let's try to revise in the next session, and then we'll move on to the SRS and HLD. So next session is also really important. We'll of course revise the MOM as well. Okay,
Thank
chalo.
you.
Yeah, that's all. And Babu, have you gone through the recording, sir?
Yeah, I'm going through one by one, but not yet finished.
No.
Because
Whatever you have question, please, you can personally message me, or you can message in the group as well.
sure.
Anybody have any challenge in understanding, do let me know. I try to play this video because these guys have explained it in much better sense than me. Believe me. And we can have these recordings play on your mobile, here, there, everywhere. Even you can share with your friend also. Have a look at this, try this, and something like that. So that's why these recording give us a really good way to understand or effectively learn from one of these based videos. Okay, chalo, let's meet day after tomorrow. Thanks for your time. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Ravindra.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.